Hello, this is Jer. I'm playing Timberborn. I'm starting a new game. In the last episode, I unlocked the Iron Teeth, and it says, Defectors of the traditional timber ways. They mastered iron science to build advanced machinery. They achieved progress through ingenuity, efficiency, and the disregard for the environment. Their motto, work hard, work hard. Sounds exciting. Alright, so let's try the Iron Teeth out. And let's go on a different map just to switch it up a little bit. Let's go to the canyon. And a little bit smaller space, but in the last playthrough I didn't use a lot of space. And normal mode for this experiment, so let's give the Iron Teeth a go. What would you like to call your settlement? I'll call it Iron Way. Gonna pause it there. Okay, so actually, this is interesting. The district center looks a little bit different. Seems more like a green or bluish type of thing to it. And the beavers themselves also look different. They have a blue sort of look to them. I'm on a different map than I played so far. So very similar in terms of resources. I've got some trees, blueberries in the area, a river. Then I'm going to have to build a dam across, and lots of fertile land as long as I'm not in a drought season. So yeah. Just before I get started, I've decided I'll have a look at some of the buildings, and largely they are the same. Storage is identical. Okay, it looks like a breeding pod. Okay, this is the Iron Teeth's preferred and only way to reproduce. So I guess that's interesting. Nutrients are brought to the haulers, the unemployed, and works after work. Okay, I hope that's not a glass thing you actually watch. So I guess what that means is you control the actual population. So then I've got the barracks. It looks like they're going to visually look different, though I'm not quite certain that, it's significantly different. Water, they need to drink, it looks like. Food production, I think we've lost one of them, but farmhouses and eventually, being able to make bread is probably what I'm going to go after. Foresters, this one looks the same. Metal, I don't see huge differences here. What's high power? An engine. This is a bit of a game changer for them. Looks like I can use wood to produce power. Okay, going to be doing that at 400, not anytime super soon. Large water wheel. Okay, compact water wheel. All right, so that it's a little bit different in terms of that. Number cruncher. Oh. Okay, you make these little atom things for sure. The golems. So I experiment with that potentially this round through. And the control tower. Oh, this looks like where you use your atoms to enhance the ability of the golems, which I've got to experiment with. Entertainment looks the same. Decorations looks the same. So yeah, there it is. All right. That's a preview of... so I would say the two main things is they breed differently and you can produce power through wood. So I pretty much have the same strategy I have with the other beaver faction. I have place to gather wood, so 3 wood gathering places or lumberjack flags, and place to gather blueberries with the gathering flag there. And water, a deep water pump. I guess that's slightly different. And that's going to give me basic food, water, and ability to have a dam to have the ability to grow year-round, or at least during the drought season. Just going to make some adjustments here. Going to take this up to 20 hours temporarily, although I'll give them a break once this dam is created. The other thing is I see one beaver is idle, so let's get more builders to try to get this dam created before the first drought season. So at a critical point here, the beavers started building the dam first. I should have definitely made the pump the priority. So I've done that and it's now built. And the worker that is working there is set to high priority. And we're just going to see if I survive now that I've got this pump. Hopefully none of the beavers die and I can continue on. Okay, so I have a dam that is created, which is going to stop a bit of the water on this side, which means everything over here will continue to grow. When there's a drought, I'm building a power. Oh, there it is. The first compact water wheel. So a little bit smaller. It's producing about 100 or so units of power, horsepower. I'm going to build a lumber mill directly off of this, for now at least, because I need to get some lumber created so I can plant some trees. I know these guys don't have a disregard. They have disregard for the environment. I thought maybe they wouldn't plant trees, but it looks like the forester is still a big part of their lives. So I have a lumber mill that's been created. Don't have any workers there. So I may need to expand my beavers, which means I need to experiment with how they procreate. We're planting carrots. I actually might take one of the workers away after this is created, but I'll let them get caught up on that. Yeah, so maybe it is time then to experiment with the... What is going on with my game? Alright, I might need to restart. We'll see. Hold on. So I had to restart my game. Not sure what that was about, but it's working now. I'm going to put a breeding pod here. Make sure it is facing the right way. At the same time, why not put in a science building? This one looks like it's the same, other than maybe some of the decorations. That's going to allow me to unlock the forester, which I'll actually... I only need 60 for that. Was that what I need? I think maybe that was the same. Anyway, let's get this built and see what it does. So the breeding pod, thankfully, it's not made out of glass, so you can see through the top, but not that way. Anyway, you need water, but interestingly, you need berries. And I wasn't expecting that. Normally, I just get rid of my blueberries in place of carrots. But there may be a reason to keep these. I may not need all of them, but I'll certainly need some berries. Might be able to grow... I don't know if you can plant them, or at least at this point in the game. So I'll make sure I don't remove all the blueberries if I want to expand. So I'm having an issue here with power. This compact water wheel is not turning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build further out and build it there. And see if pushing it towards the side will increase the water pressure going through it, generating power. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to need power shafts. But I'll wait till this gets constructed. So this problem has been fixed by moving this out a little bit further into the center of the river. That is now generating power. And I'm now able to produce planks. I'm just waiting for the research to happen. That is not occurring because no one's working there. And perhaps I will lower the priority of some of the lumberjacks. And there it is. We're starting to create some science. I had enough research to be able to unlock the forester, which I'm assuming works in the same way as the other one, though it looks a little different color-wise. And there it is. Forester is out there, and they're planting pine. So that's initially what I'm going to grow, and switch to maple in some areas so I can get more wood. But I prefer pine in the earlier part of the game because it grows faster. So I've had my 3-day warning to the first drought. Currently building a barracks. That's going to actually not be enough for the 12 beavers, so I'll need to build a second one. So with these ones, actually 10 can fit in each one. So we'll choose a spot here. Put that right there. I'll prefer to put it against the wall here so that I can build stuff on top of it in the future if I want to. Alright. So the first drought has occurred. Still have water in this little river. And that's thanks to this dam. Making stairs down to here so I can actually get a floodgate across here so I can store more water for future purposes. Alright, let's having a look around. I have a beaver. There's a broken tooth. I think I should have enough ability to unlock science to fix that problem for them. Let's see, where... oh, actually, didn't even need to unlock that one. I can just build that right away. It was the health, though, that I wasn't able to do earlier. I only need 80. I can do that. Let's make life a little more comfortable for the beavers by building that. Also constructing storage place that's going to store more food and a place to store excess logs. I've got a lot of pine grown, a little bit of maple for the future. Actually, I can even fill in some spots here. Oops, that's the wrong level. Ugh. And it's the end of the drought. Let me just undo the ones that were up there. And I'm currently building a floodgate that's going to allow me to store more water. And I'm short wood, so I'm cutting down some of these trees to build some of the things while these pines grow. So floodgate has been created. That's going to allow me to store more water with the next drought as long as I close it in time. Just going to allow my beavers to finish some of the buildings here. And eventually I want to get a taller floodgate here so I can actually store water in this area for a longer drought in the future. So I've built some levees here. Currently I'm just waiting to get 500 science points so that I can build a 3-level floodgate. So we'll get triple floodgates, 4 across there. That's going to allow me to store water on this side during a drought. And I've also started building a little bit of levees over here because I noticed as I built these, it actually creates a little bit of flooding. This is just going to protect that to have a drought happen. So I'm going to bump this up to the top. Probably not essential at this early on in the game, but it's nice to have this option. That's going to continue to fill up until this dries out completely on this side. Drought has started. Now I've got plenty of water, more so than just from the dam itself. And I'll easily get through the next 3 days. I also invested in a little bit of quality of life type thing. So I have a rooftop terrace and a campfire and some stairs to be able to access up here so that I can build buildings in the future. So here is the triple floodgate. We're just about to hit a drought, so more water is going to be arriving here. And that'll allow me to save this water. Also, pause it a second, make sure that this floodgate also gets blocked to the top. It's going to just trap more water in this river while the drought season happens. I also built a little wall here just to prevent flooding that was happening on these trees. Speed this up a bit. So the drought is here. Didn't get this village to the top. It's not going to really matter. Just 3 days of drought, but that may be more important to close this earlier on, later on. This water is quite low. Unfortunately, I didn't close that in a great amount of time. So actually, maybe I can just demonstrate. This may be a situation where I would have reloaded it if I had have been later on the game and have a longer drought to go through. But this is demonstrating how I can use this water that's saved to pour into here. Might even be able to get away with adding a little bit more. I don't want flooding to happen, so I'll close that. And I'll easily be able to get through this drought. So obviously a little bit of flooding here, and that is, I believe I got rid of this dam. I believe that will help. So when I have this floodgate set to the bottom, flooding easily went away, so I'm happy with that. Also constructing a large water wheel to generate power, and I've got to transfer that power from here. I'm going to actually bring it up to this region over here, and this is where a lot of my production is going to happen. I'm using land that is not fertile for growing anything. Materials are being dropped off the large water wheel. Also expanded the number of beavers I have, so they were idle. I might as well use them, get them to do something, so they're doing some research for science points in the future. And I've got a second lumber mill, because I need a lot of planks for this construction. And starting the process of bringing my power up here, so I can do industry up in that area once I bring power up to it. So there's been a little bit of water shortage, so I decided we need to get 2 pumps and an extra water storage. Should take care of the problem. So I've got another large water wheel. Also have the power connection, so it makes its way up here. And I've got 2 lumber mills and a gear workshop, and I'll be able to expand with buildings that consume power over here. And also started collecting a little bit of scrap metal from old human buildings, ruins in this area. So there was a food problem. I've expanded the number of carrots that I've grown. I've increased the number of workers of each of these to 2. Set them to high priority, and building a large warehouse that only stores food. Now, the other thing is I realized that this faction does not have the underground warehouse. So I guess that is one thing that's different. Also building a warehouse up here as well. And I'm going to be creating a smelter down here so that the metal scraps can be brought up over here. So my health center has been created. I have a healer that's able to turn dandelions and a bunch of beds when beavers get sick. Also have this huge area that I'm going to be storing power in. So on this side will be the power that goes up, and the battery, which I've unlocked here, will be going there. That's a gravity battery when it's able to be built. So a drought has just started. I've trapped a lot of water up here, but I'm excited because my gravity battery is been created. Actually, I have 2 of them now. And while these exist, I'm still able to produce stuff. Yay!
5, 4, 3.
Okay. And I have built, or I'm actually at the end of a drought. And I still have more power, and I've been operating the whole time because this still has more length to fall. This has also been constructed, so I can fully produce planks and gears and other things during a drought. And I'll keep expanding this, so as the droughts get longer, I'll still be able to do that. So water is now flowing, so we should be watching these rise again if all is going to plan. And if they get to the top, by the next drought, I'll be able to use their power again. Monument, the labor monument, and it's going to sit next to the district center. Constructing golems, so I've got a part factory, and then a golem assembler. I've paused the assembler because I'm still making parts, but I've got the body parts, a few arms. Going to wait till a few more of those are created, then I'll work on creating some heads. They can then help the beavers with all their tasks that they need to be done. Planet some wheat. I've got some places to bake some bread. I have them turned off for the moment. Let's just bring this down to 1 worker. Actually, we can pause that now. And I was also realizing that I have enough parts to be able to start producing something here. So how about we turn this machine on and get my first golem. And this over here does not have power, so I can make that change. Just need to quickly destroy this and put that back in. And do that at high priority. I believe this is also new, another water wheel here. And I snuck a series of smaller ones in, so I'm just generating a ton of power. And I'm choosing to disable some of these during droughts, otherwise the power drains too quickly. But once this little connection is rebuilt, then the large amount of power that I'm generating from water should pull these back up, so beginning of the next drought, I can run some things. Though I have too many things to run all at once, but I can pick and choose what to turn off. Most likely these ones, since they use the most amount of power. So I now have several golems. I ultimately want to have them work in this area because I have a control tower that enhances their ability, but I don't have the wheat ready to be gathered, so I'll put them in some random spots just to free up my beavers from doing other tasks. I can just start here in the water. Perhaps, need to unlock maybe a building that doesn't require unlocking, but I'll have them, probably can't do science, can they? Oh, they can. You can be an inventor. Nope, no, you cannot. Perhaps I'll have them plant trees. That needs to be unlocked. Or maybe I'll just wait until, you know what? Not enough science. I need more science. Do I need science for the... Oh, okay. Well, my plan's going to take a little bit more science. So, I've harvested my first bit of wheat, so I enabled this building here, which has a work in it. That's good. That's going to produce some wheat flour. That will be used in here. I can now enable this. And I'm going to start to convert wheat flour to bread. And that's going to need a little bit of wood. And this needs the wheat from this field here. I even cleared out over here. I've got some power stations for these golems that are going to be working in this area eventually. Well, actually, now in the spot where I can unlock the ability to put a golem there, and that's what I'll do. Whoops. So a golem is going to work in this area. I'm going to enable this building for the first time. It's going to consume power. I probably will not use this during the drought period, but this is going to power this ability. So all the golems in this area will be enhanced. So it'll get that bonus. Now it's time to put a farmhouse in here, such that I can produce more wheat. And I want to put that wheat close to where it's going to be turned into wheat flour, just so excess travel doesn't need to be happen. All right, of course it'd be a drought. Let's quickly turn that off, as I mentioned, as it consumes a lot of power. Lock off these. Kind of thing I don't like about this game. Hoping that they have some sort of game element that automates this process, because it's kind of annoying at the start of every single drought to remember to do that. But there it is. So I have built a bridge just next to the floodgate, and this gives me access to land over here. Built a farmhouse and growing more wheat, and that's just going to help keep this section here active, creating bread. At the moment is science, so I built a whole bunch of inventor buildings, and they're been populated by beavers. And thanks to the automation of this whole area, I really like how the buildings actually turn blue, even though tiny little windows to show that they're actually filled with the bots or golems. So I have this whole area, full chain of actually producing bread is done by them. that frees up, and I turned off some of the machinery that I don't need, and that frees up a lot of the beavers to be inventing stuff. So that's going to increase my science, so I can unlock some of the things like the monuments and some of the other things I haven't been able to do just yet. Completed another floodgate. This is further down. Might destroy this one in one day when the drought is over. Short power, so very much looking forward to that drought being over and these water wheels start spinning once again. So the water wheels are spinning once again, which means my golems can power themselves. I even added more charging stations, so there's a charging station down here. Got 15 of them, quite a few actually. I can now switch this building over to be run by them. But yeah, they are making a huge difference because they don't need to be fed and they can do all the work of my beavers as long as I have the science to unlock that particular building. And still very limited by science. Actually, maybe the next thing I want to do is unlock this, which I finally can. That's going to take me down to back under 1,000 science, so it's surprisingly how much it takes to do science even with all these buildings. And because of this faction, I don't have the larger a science building, so that's going to slow things down a little bit. So new monument has been created. That's love this their sounds. Flame of Progress. And currently have this area over here, which is going to have pine stay active all the time so that Tapper's Shack can get some pine resin, because I want to create some specialty boards, and I can do that here in the wood workshop, but I need more pine resin first. Another drought is coming, so manual process me raising the floodgate down here. And seeing if this all works out so that it stores enough water. So I notice that this is starting to fill up too much, so I can bring this one up. Still 0.3 days left. As long as this one doesn't overflow, we should be fine. We are looking pretty close. 0.1 days. Still no flooding over the side of this. I think we're good. Yeah. Oh, the other thing is I'm going to start to, now beginning of any drought, I'm going to start disabling certain buildings. I might even disable smelter because I've got enough metal blocks. Really want to save power for the golems. It's the priority. So I've built this building here. A dirt evacuator. Can only be run by the machines. I also built the carousels disabled, but I'll enable that later on when I can disable some of these other buildings. But this gives me dirt, which I will experiment with. I'm not quite sure what to do with it just yet. So just built this bell here, which is specific to this faction. It just rings like that. I don't know if you can hear it, but yeah, exciting. I just built a few statues, a little bit of decorations around the base, and more actually gravity batteries that are now connected, so I've got a little bit more power during the drought, which I'm currently in. Oh yeah, and a few charging stations are going in here. So I want to create more of these golems, and to do that I made another golem part factory. This one's going to concentrate on limbs, and I'm going to alternate between heads and chassis for this one, and see if we can get about 30 of them, and take care of the 6 vacant spots and assign other spots for them to work. So I have this factory, explosives factory created. I have a few pieces of dynamite made. This is my first time experimenting with this. Actually, I have to unlock that for 600 science points. I've done that. So why don't we give this a try? I believe this just makes a hole somewhere. So my idea is, wouldn't it be nice if this river was a little bit deeper? And, oh, I guess someone has to go and it isn't just automatic. Let's up the priority. And up the speed. And see what happens. I have no idea. I can just see a little piece of dynamite sticking out. Okay, this beaver's doing some sort of dance in front of it. Is that it? Oh, so then I actually have to hit the button once they do. There we go. Okay, what? Did that do anything? I would expect to see the water a bit deeper there. I can see little pieces of something. I don't know if that did anything. That may have just been pointless. Maybe it doesn't work the way I thought. You know what? Let's just blow something else above land. Alright, landscaping. Dynamite. Oh, this tile right here. Why not? Are they going to be able to reach that one? We'll do right there. Up the speed even faster. Up the priority. All kinds of beavers walking by it. There we go. So let's create it and detonate. Okay, that created a hole. Maybe I'll see. Oh, it is. Okay, there it is. I didn't notice it the first time. Well, I guess I just wasted a tile over there. But what that means is extra water can be stored at that location. And if things get really bad and my water gets low, I'll still have a tiny bit of water there, saving the plants around here. So I might just dot a few other spots around here. Perhaps one right here, especially where I have trees and plants growing. That might be a useful thing. All right, that's dynamite. So I have this new building, terraforming station. Well, let's put this at 4 and experiment with how this works. I believe this works as the opposite of dynamite. I need to unlock this with 1,000 points. Create a train somewhere. Don't really understand what the difference between this and a levee would be. Why you would do this versus another. But let's create one right here. And might need the speed. Oh, so top speed. So that's it. And I could use the dynamite to create it. I don't know what the use case for this is, given the fact that I can just create my own levee out of wood. But maybe it's just the fact that it's an alternate material. Now that it exists, it's just dirt. Okay. I just have one final goal for this playthrough, and that is to build the tribute to Ingenuity, and that requires 12,000 science points. I have a little bit under 6,000. So what I'm done is disabled a lot of the building materials production that I won't need if I'm not going to be building anymore, and that will allow my beavers to go to the invention or inventor buildings. They're generally in low priority, so as long as I disable a lot of the stuff and I have some golems or golems, I keep saying golem, as long as I have enough for that, then the beavers will go in there, do some research, and I'll be able to do that. So let's do a final tour of this whole place. And before we do the final build of that tribute. So lots of power, currently in a drought mode, so you're not seeing the wheels move, but a lot of wheels. I had a bunch of small ones built here and 2 bigger ones at the very end. That produces quite a bit of power. Lot of storage of power with gravity batteries. I actually have some batteries on this side now, not just on this side. But I do find I have to turn off certain production things during the drought. In this case, I actually have quite a bit turned off, but that is just to get people doing science, or beavers doing science. Whole area for resin over here. Area for trees. Primarily have a diet of bread. And not in a situation where I've really had risk during any of the droughts. I'm in normal mode, so it hasn't been too bad. Experimenting with various different buildings this playthrough that I haven't done before. This massive dirt excavator. This building hasn't been operational yet in this playthrough. So won't we just press play on that? And maybe just end this little section watching perhaps a few beavers. Maybe I'll even be nice, give them 16 hours work. Let's just do that, but is there any more? Yeah, every major building, at least at this point in the game, I imagine they're going to have expansions and bonus or other additional buildings. But for now, I think I've experimented with all the core stuff. So I can create tiles, destroy tiles, and I think the superpower in this game is golems that you can create, because they don't need to be fed or consume water, but do work. Currently, I just need 3 more, and I'm happy with what I've got, but my goal is to have 30 created, but we'll see if that happens over time. Let me just speed things up. Let's see if someone is. Okay, that's fine. Slow it down. Yeah, I've got the first beaver here. All right. Oh, that's because it's paused. Whoops. Yeah, they go around. This thing consumes power, a fair bit of power, but probably not the type of thing you want to run during a drought. I'm just doing this because I'm experimenting. Maybe I'll turn that off for now and get it back on when the water's running. All right, let's. I'll come back when I have 12,000 science points. Very close to getting the amount of research I need. 12,000. I created a lot more science buildings here. Inventors have been going mad. And there it is, 12,000. So I can unlock this. And I don't know what's the size of it. It is, I thought it'd be 3x3. I cleared out a 2x2 spot that was next to power. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, I cleared out the spot here, 3x3 spot. It has power. There's no real right or wrong direction. Let's have it face me. 2 beavers sitting on top of each other. Consumes a lot of power. So, not a fan of it. But I can disable it if I need to, so that's fine. Just want to have it built so I can say that I've built it. Final goal I have for this playthrough. What's it take anyway? Didn't actually metal. Oh, a lot of material. Might take a bit. I may even have to start producing stuff again and redirecting the people from doing, or beavers from doing science to other things. Okay, I'll be back. So I've created a few more smelters, increase the amount of beavers that are getting scrap metal, and just waiting for 2 more pieces, metal blocks, and this statue will be created. Curious if that's going up my happiness, well-being. Oh, it did. It's instantly just like that. There it is. I Don't know what it's doing. Stuff is poking out of its head. Gears are moving around. It's consuming a lot of power to do that. And the beavers have +1 point because of it. Joy. There it is. My overall thoughts of the Iron Teeth faction. I actually don't like them as much. I prefer the original one. You don't have the advanced research building, which made research quite painful. So I had all of this. And I really wanted the large storage building. The underground storage. That didn't exist. And the main building that I'm surprised I never actually used or built, engine, I've never built one. I'm completely relying on just renewable power / the batteries, as well as turning things off. I could have, but I would have had to get more lumber. Okay, well that is my playthrough of the Iron Teeth. Till next time.